to show you is the how-tos to the new OOZZIE Jig. One of the things I want to show you quick is how to grind up bait, how fast it goes, and how well it works inside the new jig. And so I got 4 mackerel here. I'm going to grind these up quick, and then I'm going to give you some more how-tos with the new jig. Anyway, what I like is with this fine blade, how fine it makes the chum that's going to go inside the jig. Now I'm going to take the chum and put it into the squeeze bottles, and this is how you get it into the jigs. I just take this pate stuff, load it into the bottles. It'll take a minute or so, but it really only takes a little bit of time to fill up quite a few bottles, and then I'll freeze them. Now I'll be back as soon as I fill up the bottles. Alright, I'm back, and what I've created, I have 5 bottles, or 5.5 bottles of chum. It took me about 15-20 minutes from the time I started grinding it, and the grinder's all clean, everything's done. Now I'm going to freeze this because I've prepared it to go fishing, but I'm not going fishing right now. So again, this is all in preparation for when I go fishing. Now I'm going to show you why I do this. Here's one of my jigs. I've got it rigged with stinger hooks on it, and I've taken the wick out of it. Now that's just hollow. So now with the chum, what I do is I take the bottle, I'm going to clip off the top of it, and right from the top of the lure, you can see how that fits in the top of the lure. You don't have to take the skirt off, you don't have to cut it, it's right like that. Once you put that inside, now you can inject the chum right inside the lure. Watch this. There you go. Now when you send that down to 200 feet, that chum is just going to be oozing out of that jig. Now I show this one with stinger hooks on it because some of the guys are worried about catching their new jig on the bottom, or they say that the cod or the fish are going to want to attack from the top. Now when you send that down with the chum coming out of it, again, you know, I mean, you know what's going to happen. So that's the chum part. Now I'm going to freeze this off, and I wanted to show you how you don't have to cut the skirt. You just install it right from the top of the jig. And now when that goes down, it's all blood and guts. Now over here, what I did was, what I wanted to show you were the different sizes. This is 3/8, half, 3/4 ounce. So that's 3/4 ounce. 1.5 ounces, 2 ounce, 3 ounce, 4 ounce. Then I'm going to have the 10 ounce with the stinger hooks, 12 ounce, 14, 16 ounce. That's what I have, and these are my colors. What I want to show you is on these smaller ones, these take the 2.5 inch P-line squid skirts. They come in all different colors. But these are the ones that go on my smaller jigs, 2.5. And what you do, just to slide it on, this is a squid skirt, and you just take and clip the top of it off. And then that's what enables you to slide it on and then have it open at the top. Now with the little ones, what I like to do is I'll take my bottle of oil, and instead of trying to squirt it inside, I take the cover off, and while it's on my line, I just dip it inside the bottle. Let the wick absorb the oil, and then it's good to go, instead of trying to squirt it inside because it's so small. On the 1.5 ounce, 2 ounce, 3 ounce, and 4 ounce jigs, these are 4.5 inch skirts. And the same thing falls true. Here's a 4.5 inch skirt. To install a new squirt, you just clip off a little bit of the nose, and then that'll slide over the top. Now this one here's got a wick inside of it. You'll see that the skirts all just slide off, and there's your wick. That's a piece of They call it pile for making rugs. Comes in big long lengths, and to me this is the best stuff, and that's why I put it in the jig. It's cotton, it's extremely absorbent. Then you just flip this over and slide it over. Now to put the oil inside of this one, you just slide the skirt down a little bit, open your container of oil, and right from the top again, saturate that wick with oil. And that's how we load the jigs up. Now you can use any kind of recipe you want, whether it be cornmeal and oil or oatmeal and oil, honey, cat food, whatever you're going fishing for, whatever you think may attract the fish to your lure. I know there's a number of things have been said to me, recipes of what different people are coming up with to inject into the lure. Because now with the new OOZZIE jig, you have just that. You can inject into the lure. Now I rigged this big one up with a snelled hook, and I make the snelled hook so that it's the same length as the lure, so it doesn't get tied up around the top. But you can now take and put a piece of bait on that, fill this full of chum or oil, and now as you let that sit, this acts as what we call a stink sinker. So if you're tired of jigging or you don't like to jig, you can use your jig as, again, a stink sinker where the oil or chum will be coming out of the lure. And then that's how we do that. You hook the bait onto the snelled hook. This is the bio edge. This is what we like to put into our recipes. If you're using cat food or cornmeal or whatever you like to do, you add bio edge to it, and that is what creates the chum. This is what we really recommend it, and it works really well. Bio edge makes an excellent product. Now on these bigger jigs, I'm showing you, these are the skirts. These are 7.5 inch skirts. Again, they're from P-Line. They all have glow in the dark eyes. Now that's a beautiful skirt, and the same thing falls true. To install a new skirt, you just clip off the nose of it, and then that enables you to put it on the lure. This one here, you slide it off. There's your wick. It's right inside the lure. And then I just cut this one. You flip it over. And there you go. Now it's rigged. And again, to put the oil in it, it's right from the top. You just load that lure right up with the bio edge. And you'll see that take a couple minutes, once that wick is saturated with oil, that jig is going to stink all day. And then, you know, when you're done, like any type of fishing, if you fish with bait, you clean your hook, you clean the bait off your hook, wash out your jig, take the bait out of your jig, and take care of it. There's no lead involved in this. This is a solid stainless steel jig. There's a stainless steel slug inside to about that point, and then the top is just an open cavity. And that's the bait compartment right there. And again, no lead. These are all solid stainless steel jigs. They all come with P-Line squid skirts, and they're all rigged with mustad hooks. So they're as high quality as I could put together for you. Now these small lures here have only been on the market for about 8 months. And since they've been out, we have this lure here was picking up steelhead up on Lake Michigan, and he was popping salmon eggs inside and casting it into the eddies. This lure here is out on Squam Lake catching smallmouth bass and pickerel. And they had the green and orange skirt on it, but still that was the size they was using. And this little one in white was picking up rainbow trout, and he was filling it full of smelt oil on the Pemmy up in New Hampshire. Now again, these lures are brand new. We sent some down to Florida to Captain Eric Choker for the Ultimate Catch Fishing Show, and he caught a huge redfish with full of shrimp oil. He filled it full of shrimp oil and also weak fish. These lures have just been doing phenomenal. The 10-ounce lure, this one here, has been picking up tuna. Now they spot the tuna at 70, 80 feet of water, they fill it up with chum, and then send it right down. And the tuna fishermen like it because of its round design and that it gets to the 70 feet so fast once they spot the tuna. So all of these jigs are being very productive. And whether you decide to put oil in it or not, say if you didn't have your oil, you didn't make bait, it is still an excellent jig just on its own, or an excellent fishing lure just on its own. The oil or the chum just enhances the lure and will, again, make the fish, give them something to strike at, or they can smell it is what we've found. And that's kind of its claim to fame, is that you can enhance the lure with scent or chum, and it's inside the lure. It's not something that you hook on the outside. So we've been doing very good. This is really only our first season, and we've caught everything from the West Coast up to the Great Lakes down to Florida, and the list just grows more and more. And I think if you're a seasoned fisherman, you can understand the beauty of actually putting scent or chum directly into your lure. Very important, and I think the OOZZIE Jig has captured that very well. So good luck fishing, and I hope you enjoy the new line of lures. Thank you.